Section 5. 1. Vending machines are a modern convenience that many people use. Surprisingly, however, modern people were not the first to use them. In ancient Egypt, people bought holy water to wash themselves before entering a temple. Priests often distributed holy water, but this took a long time. However, without the priests, people could take more water than they paid for. A Greek engineer named Hero of Alexandria solved these problems by inventing the first vending machine in 215 BC. So, how did this machine work? When a visitor put a coin in the machine, it fell into one side of a long tray. Its weight caused the tray to tilt, which opened a pipe at the bottom of the machine. This allowed the holy water to flow out. When the coin slid off the tray, the pipe closed and no more water came out. Thanks to Hero's automatic water dispenser, many ancient priests were able to save time and
2.
holy water.
These days, Braille can be found in many public places. However, there are a number of everyday items that should be labeled with Braille as well. That is why a group of Korean designers invented Braille tape. In some ways, it just looks like ordinary tape, but it has blocks of dots on it. You can simply cut off a piece of tape and stick it on an object. Then, by pressing in different dots, you can make all of the letters in the Braille alphabet. This allows you to create a word or message. For example, Braille tape can be used to label containers in a refrigerator. Then, a blind person can tell the difference between a jar of pickles and a jar of spaghetti sauce quickly and easily, without opening them up. There are many other uses for Braille tape around the home. With this brilliant invention, it is possible to make the daily tasks of the blind
3.
more convenient.
A different court is used for each different sport because every game requires its own lines and markings. But what if you wanted to play two sports on one court? It would take a lot of time and money to repaint the gym floor. However, a German company came up with a brilliant idea. By simply pressing a button, a court can be switched. For example, from a basketball court to a volleyball court. The gym floor has LED lights beneath a surface of hard glass. They show the lines and markings for different sports and can be changed in a second. Also, an aluminum frame protects the floor, so it is strong enough to bounce balls on. Moreover, its special glass does not reflect the light. Plus, with balls that have sensors, referees can see digitally marked landing spots so that they can quickly make better judgments. In the near future, this multi-purpose floor could change the way
4.
sports are played.
In 1859, Henri Dunant, a Swiss businessman, happened to see the battlefield after the Battle of Solferino had finished. He saw at least 40,000 soldiers lying dead or hurt on the ground. Sadly, nobody was there to offer them any medical help. Dunant could not stop thinking about what he had seen. To tell the world about the tragedy, he wrote a book titled A Memory of Solferino. In the book, do not call for a national organization of volunteers who would aid soldiers wounded in combat. This led to the creation of the International Committee of the Red Cross. He also insisted that doctors and nurses working on the battlefield should not be harmed. He wanted them to be able to treat every wounded soldier, regardless of nationality. This inspired an important international agreement about proper behavior on the battlefield, known as the 1864 Geneva Convention. It was just one book, but it helped make the terrible battlefield
Section
less
6.
tragic.
1. Modern medicine has cured many illnesses and solved many problems. Some conditions, however, remain a mystery. One of these is something called alien hand syndrome. People suffering from alien hand syndrome feel as though they can't control one of their hands. The hand may grab at random objects or perform unwanted tasks, such as unbuttoning a shirt that the other hand just buttoned. There have even been cases where people were attacked by their own hand. When they do manage to control the hand, movements are awkward. People with this syndrome often hold something in the troublesome hand, such as a cane, to prevent it from acting strangely. Alien hand syndrome usually occurs after a person has had a stroke or developed a brain tumor. Doctors think it is related to the two halves of the brain. If they somehow become disconnected, this strange condition can occur. Unfortunately, there is no
2.
known cure.
If you're fascinated by Guinness World Records, being a world record judge might be the perfect career. There are many different kinds of record attempts to judge. You might be sent to watch a man try to break the record for fastest ice cream eating, for example. You would have to weigh the bowl and check the type of ice cream. Guinness's rules say that ice cream with chunks is not allowed. Or you might be sent to an event that claims to have the largest number of different tomato varieties in a single place. You'd have to count those tomatoes and take a picture of each one. To become a Guinness World Records judge, you need to be accurate, responsible, and good at applying rules. You must also have the ability to share bad news with people who fail to set a record and be willing to travel. If you meet these requirements, you might become a judge someday.
Lena constantly surfs the internet and checks her messages on her cell phone, even when she is on vacation with her family. She knows she should spend time with them, but she cannot stop using her phone. Lena has something called popcorn brain, which is the need to be online all the time. Actually, popcorn brain is a negative effect of recent developments in technology. People with popcorn brain have difficulty reading human emotions. Popcorn brain even affects their ability to focus. Also, using the internet excessively for a long time causes the part of the brain used for thought to become smaller. But don't worry, there are ways to keep popcorn brain from developing. First, put limits on how long you use the internet. Apps that track and limit your phone usage can help you. Second, fill up your time with other fun activities. You can find a new hobby or spend time
4.
with your friends. organs.
After Linda got a kidney transplant, something strange happened. Although she had always disliked spicy foods, she started to crave them. She also stopped enjoying her pottery class, which had been her favorite activity. Then she started becoming forgetful. Linda told her doctor, who said something shocking. He said that Linda's donor may have been someone with these same traits. He explained that some reports suggest memory is not only stored in the brain, but also in other organs, such as the kidneys and the heart. According to those reports, living cells in these organs store information about a person. This information includes parts of the person's emotional, mental, and physical memories. Whenever the organs are moved, the memories go with them. This could make it possible for someone to form new habits or thoughts after receiving an organ transplant. Thus, Linda's changes may have been caused by her new kidney, which was acting as if it were still inside the donor.
1. Glass in some windows of old cathedrals is thicker near the bottom. Tour guides often say that this happens because glass is actually a type of liquid that slowly flows downward over hundreds of years. Is this true? Glass is not a liquid, but a special type of solid. Normal solids, like gold, have very straight and ordered molecules. If you heat gold, it becomes a liquid like water, and the molecules move around. When gold cools down, the molecules line up, and gold will become a perfectly straight solid again, much like ice. When glass is heated and becomes a liquid, its molecules also move around. However, when glass cools to become a solid, its molecules still remain uneven. Even though these molecules are uneven, they can't move freely like a liquid's molecules. So, why are old windows thicker near the bottom? It's simply because people had not yet learned how to make perfectly
2.
flat glass.
In the middle of a cold river, a circle of ice slowly spins like a merry-go-round. Although it looks mysterious, it is actually a natural formation called an ice circle. Ice circles, which are usually found in cold parts of North America and Europe, can be as small as a CD or as large as 17 meters across. Although people used to think that flowing water caused ice circles to spin, they also have been found in lakes where the water doesn't move. Recently, scientists figured out the real reason why ice circles spin. First of all, cold water is generally heavier than warm water. Secondly, water spins as it sinks. Think of water going down a drain. As an ice circle slowly melts, it cools the water right under it. This water sinks because it is heavier than the lake's warmer water. As it sinks, it spins, causing the ice above it
3.
to spin too.
Have you ever noticed that all of the soda cans in the supermarket are shaped like cylinders? Why do you think they are shaped this way? Is it because cylinders look good? Or is it because they are easy to hold? Actually, they have several advantages. One of them is that they are economical. We can use math to show how they help manufacturers save money. The amount of material a shape requires is called its surface area, and the amount of soda it can hold is called its volume. So, for the manufacturers, the best shape would be one with the lowest surface area and the highest volume. The sphere is the shape with the lowest surface area compared to its volume. But imagine sphere-shaped soda cans. When you put them down, they would roll away. Thus, the cylinder, which requires a little more aluminum than a sphere, but stays still,
4.
is used.
Do you know what XIX means? It is not a word, but the number 19. It looks different because it is a Roman numeral. Roman numerals may seem complicated, but you only need to know 3 things to read them. 1. Learn the 7 numerals. I is 1, V is 5, X is 10, L is 50, C is 100, D is 500, and M is 1000. Of these numerals, I, X, C, and M can be repeated up to 3 times, and you need to add them. For example, I equals 1 plus 1, which equals 2. XXX equals 10 plus 10 plus 10, which equals 30. 2. If a numeral comes after a larger one, add them. If a numeral comes before a larger one, subtract it from the larger one. However, you can subtract only one number from another, so 3 is III, not IIV. For example, VI equals 5 plus 1, which equals 6. IV equals 5 minus 1, which equals 4. 3. If there are more than 3 numerals, find any numerals before larger ones and do the subtraction. Then add the rest. For example, XIV equals 10 plus the difference of 5 minus 1, which equals 14. XLIX equals the difference of 50 minus 10, plus the difference of 10 minus 1, which equals 49. Now you can read complicated Roman numerals. Try this one. What does CXLIV mean? The answer is 144.